You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, the city of Carthage wants to put the issue of recreational marijuana back on the ballot, but this time for a tax increase.
And Yana Dalla takes us on a trip to Parsons, Kansas to get a sneak preview of where grant money will go for the city's trails.
And we've
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The man who Crawford County authorities say was involved in several incidents with gunfire, including shooting at law enforcement, has been charged. Aaron Swink is charged with several counts ranging from first-degree attempted murder to assault of a law enforcement officer, criminal threat, and aggravated assault, among other charges. Crawford County authorities last week searched the Pittsburgh area for more than 10 hours before finding and arresting Swink. They say he shot at a vehicle, a building, and exchanged gunfire with deputies leading up to the search. Authorities identify the body found last month in Galena, Kansas as a man's from Carthage, Missouri. Kansas Bureau of Investigation says the man was 52-year-old Peter Whittington. KBI says Whittington last spoke to his family in late 2022. They say there are no signs of foul play, but they are waiting on the final autopsy report. His body was found February 27th in a field. Carthage City Council votes to call an election on the question of whether to impose an additional 3% sales tax on recreational marijuana. With the additional 3%, the city is expecting to generate more than $50,000 within the first year for the city's general fund. The local dispensary supports the additional sales tax because the community will directly benefit from it.
It's a relatively low number. It's 3% for the city tax. Even when you add that up with the cannabis tax, the state tax, county, everything like that, it still totals to be one of the lowest, if not the lowest total tax rate in the country for cannabis.
Jasper County has its own recreational marijuana sales tax question on the April ballot, as do several municipalities within the county, including both Joplin and Webb City. A Joplin lawyer receives a state award. Roger Johnson of the law firm Johnson, Voorhees and Martucci was named to the 2023 Power List of Healthcare Attorneys by Missouri Lawmakers Media. That list recognizes 20 of Missouri's most powerful healthcare attorneys by making an impact on the industry. Johnson shared his appreciation for everyone involved.
It is, I think, a reflection of a lot of work from a lot of people that goes into doing our best to get results for people who have had their lives changed because of poor medical care.
Johnson earned his law degree from the University of Kansas in 1991.
Well, we've got ourselves a very cold start for St. Patrick's Day across the area. MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline. We got clear skies out there. Sun slowly starts to creep up, but it is quite chilly. And thanks to the cloud line out there, it makes it look as though our camera here at 7th and Rangeline is tilted, but in reality, it's still level. Just an interesting optical illusion. We're at 27 in Joplin, feel like 17 with a north-northwest breeze at about 12 miles an hour. Across the area, cold, 26 Iola, 27 Yates Center, Fort Scott, Nevada, Lamar, Carthage, 28 Monette, Neosho, 30 Chetopa, Miami as we get our day started. With that breeze, it feels like 15 in Iola, 17 Yates Center, Neodesha, Independence, and Parsons, as well as Carthage, Lamar, and Nevada. Feels like 18 in Neosho and 20 in Miami. We're upwards of about 30 degrees colder than where we were 24 hours ago, so a very chilly start for us. We're going to stay cold through the morning. Partly cloudy skies. Wind advisories have either been canceled or expired, but we still could see some gusts 20 to 30 miles an hour, up to about 34 by 11. Just after noon, the winds will start to calm down, and they'll continue to calm down as we head through the afternoon and evening hours. Remaining partly cloudy and a high right around 46 degrees, so not very warm at all. Tonight, through the evening, partly cloudy, mostly clear, down to 35 by 10, with an overnight low of 25 degrees. And as we look ahead, we are cold tomorrow, even colder, 38, 42 Sunday, 55 and cloudy for the first day of spring. Then spring temperatures finally get here. 59 Tuesday, windy, cloudy, maybe some showers Wednesday, 63, and by next Thursday, 68 degrees with a few thunderstorm chances out there. So just a few more cold days, and then we'll start to settle into some more mild weather. Tanya?
The city of Parsons in Kansas receives a grant for trails in the city. KOAM's Yana Tula attended the grant presentation and has more.
On a rainy day like this, you may not see as many people walking or jogging around the trails here in Parsons, Kansas. But the Rotary Club has good news for any residents using the trails, thanks to a T-Mobile grant. Parsons is one of the latest of 25 cities receiving $50,000 from T-Mobile's hometown grants. Ann Charles, grant writer for the Parsons Rotary Club, applied for the grant and they got help for an existing project.
It provided the matching funds necessary for the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Pathways to a Healthy Kansas, $50,000. Totally, it's $100,000.
Local T-Mobile store manager Jason Jones helped Charles to apply for the grant.
She came in, spoke to me briefly. She applied for it. The first time she was denied, so she I don't think she was going to apply again. I talked her into it, and here she is now, receiving $50,000.
He says it's one of the biggest things happening in the city.
We're giving out over $25 million over 5 years with T-Mobile. So Parsons was lucky enough to be one of those 25 this quarter.
The grant provides a paved connection between Frisco and Rotary Trails, on which the city will also install emergency blue light stations that will be connected to the police department.
We don't have to have people worried about walking through the trail regardless of the time of day or any kind of security concerns.
Rotary members emphasize the importance of outdoor trails.
My husband and I go out and walk on the trails periodically. We'll be walking and we run across people we haven't seen for a long time. And just to stop and chat and say hello is really nice.
In Parsons, Yana Haudala, KOAM News.
And Charles estimates everything to be finished this summer. Up next, the Missouri Tigers make their first appearance in this year's NCAA tournament to face Utah State. But would it be their only appearance? Chris has the answer in sports.
And later, add another pharmaceutical company to a list of those lowering the prices for insulin. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
In Health Watch this morning, another drug maker is cutting the price of insulin. Thursday, Sanofi announced it is dropping the price of Lantus by 78%. Lantus is the company's most widely prescribed insulin in the U.S. The company also says it's setting a $35 a month cap for patients with private insurance. Sanofi is also cutting the list price of its short-acting Apidra insulin by 70%. The move follows similar ones by Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk this month. The price change is effective January 1st. Pfizer is recalling more than 4 million packages of a prescription migraine medication. The company says the packaging for Nurtec ODT is not child resistant. The recall is voluntary. Pfizer says people do not need to throw away or return the medicine, but instead keep it out of the reach of children. And you can find more information about the recall at Pfizer.com. New federal data showing a disturbing trend. The death rate due to complications from pregnancy or childbirth is climbing. Gloria Pazmino has a look at what the new data from the National Center for Health Statistics reveals and what could be behind the dramatic uptick in maternal deaths.
Women in the United States are dying from pregnancy or childbirth-related causes at an alarming rate, with the number of maternal deaths rising to more than 1,200 in 2021.
Sadly, I don't think it's surprising that we see this spike.
A new report from the CDC reveals there were nearly 33 deaths per 100,000 live births in 2021, a sharp increase from years earlier.
We definitely saw that we were seeing sicker patients during this time.
The maternal death rate has been steadily rising for decades.
During 2021, we saw the Delta variant, which was predominant, which really affected pregnant people, both in terms of maternal outcomes, but also pregnancy outcomes.
The report also notes significant continued racial disparities. The maternal death rate for Black women was 2.6 times the rate for white women, mirroring the impact of the pandemic on communities of color and further highlighting inequality within healthcare.
People who are Black or Hispanic were disproportionately affected by the COVID pandemic. And, that disparity now is presenting itself in maternal death rates as well.
To prevent future maternal deaths, Dr. Tori Metz says improving access to care at every level is critical.
And now it's really talking to people in these communities and asking, what are the barriers to care? How can we help? I think that people are really starting to think in those directions.
I'm Gloria Pasmino reporting.
At the federal level, the Biden administration has made addressing the maternal health crisis a priority, including the introduction of the Black Maternal Omnibus Act of 2021, a sweeping bipartisan package of bills that aim to support Black mothers.
We've got ourselves a cold start to St. Patrick's Day and not a lot of warming taking place. Partly cloudy. We could see some wind gusts in that 20 to 30 mile an hour range through the morning, up to about 34 by 11. As we head into the afternoon, we don't really warm up that much, only about 46 for the high. The winds will calm down though, and we remain partly cloudy, and we'll remain partly cloudy to mostly clear. As we drop back through the evening, we're going to be down to 35 by 10 o'clock. And a very cold overnight low of 25 degrees. And because of that, we're not very warm tomorrow either. 38, partly cloudy for us on Saturday. 42, a little more sunshine on Sunday. By spring, 55, cloudy on Monday by the official first day of spring. 59 though Tuesday, 63 on Wednesday, maybe some showers and breezy. 68 Thursday with some thunderstorm chances. Then we head into Friday, maybe a few more showers, a little cooler, but only down to 60. And then we head into next weekend. Check out those temperatures, 67 on Saturday and 63 by next Sunday. That's Check Your Forecast. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. Well, the NCAA tournament is in full swing, and the Missouri Tigers are looking for their first win in the tournament in 13 years. They had a chance to do just that Thursday afternoon against Utah State. In Sacramento, starting in the first half, Demoy Hodge with a 3-ball. He buries it. He had a game-high 23 points. Mizzou up by 7. A few minutes later, Utah State's Sean Barstow throws it down with some authority. Aggies down by 3. Under a minute to go in the half. Steve Ashworth slices through the defense to get the bucket. Mizzou is up by 4 to end the half. In the second half action, Mizzou down 2. Scobie Brown with the steal. Posts up with the reverse jam. What a move. Tied up at 49 all. Under 2 minutes to go now. Mizzou up 8. Inbounds play. Corner 3, and Nick Honor puts this one to bed. Mizzou wins it over Utah State 76-65 and advances to round 32. On the Midwest Regional Defending Championships, Kansas Jayhawks, they're in action against Howard Bison. In the first half, Jayhawks up 2. Marcus Dockery drains the 3 in transition. Howard up 1. Later in the first, Jayhawks down 1 until KJ Adams says, "Get out of my way," as he throws it down for the jam, gives KU the lead. Still in the first, DeJuan Harris with the alley-oop pass to Grady Dick. Can't finish, but Jalen Wilson is there to pick him up. Jayhawks up by 8. To the second half, Jalen Wilson misses, but Dick with the rebound, and Kevin McCullough with the two-hand slam. KU up 16. Defending champs starting to feel good. Later in the second, Harris shoots and misses, but Grady Dick goes up high and down low to finish the dunk off the miss. Kansas going on the win 96-68. Webb City Cardinals kick off this afternoon, hosting Bishop McGuinness Catholic out of Oklahoma City. On Thursday, Cards got in their final practice before hitting the field for Game 1. Webb City was 19-16 overall last season. They won a district title and made the state quarterfinals before falling to eventual state champion Platte County. This year, Cardinals return 3 all-district players in Cy Darnell, Kaylor Darnell, and William Hayes. They also have a new head coach in Andrew Danig. He says he likes the talent in this group, especially on the mound.
I think early in the season, our pitching depth is going to be something that's going to carry us along. I think as the season progresses, we'll get better offensively. We're going to have some different guys in the lineup, but I think our pitching depth is something that we're going to be able to really kind of hang our hat on.
Of course, you have me and Kaylor, and then a couple other juniors and sophomores I think are really going to step up, and our hitting is going to come together really well. We have Cy, Kaylor, Kinley, Quaid Allenstein, Eli. All those guys are all going to step up for us in different ways and make a big-time place for us.
But I think at the end of the year we'll be a lot better offensively, and but for sure early on we're going to play defense and pitch.
Let's shift gears to some MLB spring training. St. Louis Cardinals got shut out by the Houston Astros yesterday afternoon. Astros beat the Cards 3-0. Ben and Donovan went 2 for 3 in that one. Kansas City Royals also in action. They're shutting out the Oakland Athletics, winning 2-0. Franmil Reyes went 3 for 3 with an RBI double. Well, still to come, ever wanted to pilot a flying taxi like Bruce Willis? You've got your chance in the latest video game, Mile High Taxi. And we're going to have another check of that chilly forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
87 and running.
A new video game puts you behind the controls of a flying taxi cab in a futuristic city.
Rick Damigella has the story.
In the 1997 movie The Fifth Element, Bruce Willis plays a cab driver in a flying car. In the 1999 video game Crazy Taxi, players must deliver their passengers as fast as possible. Mile High Taxi combines ideas from both for its gameplay.
Sort of taking those two worlds and put them into one, using the Fifth Element sort of esque environment and Crazy Taxi 1990s gameplay.
The game was created by a single developer as a side project from his day job.
I wanted to fly one of those taxis, so it was something that I wanted to do and enjoy, and so I figured I'd build it myself. Lose a little bit without having the ground there, but you also gain some things with having the sky beneath you.
Somebody gotta be the master. Maniac!
Whether it's something that pedestrians or passengers are talking about, or if it's the one of many billboards that are found throughout the game. There's hundreds of those, and they all each contain a somewhat different Easter egg, mostly targeted towards science fiction fans.
Next time, I'm taking Johnny Cab. With 1 point left on my license in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
I remember loving the Fifth Element when it came out, and I did play Crazy Taxi, and so combining those two, that does look like a lot of fun.
And just picture yourself as Bruce Willis or his passenger.
I don't know if I want to be the passenger in one of those, but at the same time, still looks like quite a bit of fun to be able to play a game like that. So great combination, great combination.
Right there it says, I thought it said pinch to break because you're not wearing green.
I have a green thing over there. I just can't wear it.
You took it off.
I can't wear it. That's
I
the only
actually
thing.
looked at the screen and I thought it said pinch. Like I need to pinch Chris.
That's
right
not
now.
happening.
But
I will leave before that happens. We'll be right back after this.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:27. Joplin's first Thursday event of the year took place last night, and this is actually video from last year. The weather apparently scared off a little bit of this year's crowd. Well, the event features a variety of local nonprofits, businesses, and food vendors. Every vendor must pay a fee to the Downtown Joplin Alliance to be a part of the community event. Now, those funds are used to keep the event going and to reinvest in the community. According to the executive director of the Alliance, Lori Hahn, a different local charity or organization is selected to receive funds. The money is also used to hire officers and others to help run the event.
And then we work a lot with vacant buildings and prospective developers and stuff trying to fill buildings that have been vacant or are vacant. The Olivia is a good example of that, or like right now we're working on the depot to try to find developers for that.
Third Thursday runs from March to October. City of Joplin celebrates its 150th birthday next week and asks residents to join events they'll be hosting around the town. The events are free of charge thanks to sponsors and fundraising. For those wanting to support the celebration, there is 150-year merchandise available.
The public can help by buying one of the centennial commemorative coins, and those are available to all the Joplin, Southwest Missouri Bank locations, and they're $20 for a commemorative coin, and that money goes back to help us put on the event.
Patrick Tuttle says more events celebrating Joplin's 150th year will be announced soon, and you can find a link to the current list of events on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. KOAM's Yana Tula provided a more in-depth story. You can find that on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. It's spring break for some areas in southeast Kansas, and that includes the Curious Minds Discovery Zone Children's Museum in Parsons. Some kids at Curious Minds got the creative juices flowing with some stories. And on Thursday, the museum did toddler time, which included reading a story and creating a storybook. There's a lot to do for kids at the museum during the spring break, including the introduction of a brand new club.
Our crochet club is new. We just welcomed our new program supervisor, Miss Katie, and she's awesome. And she's bringing a crochet club to Curious Minds, and we're starting that in April as well.
The Children's Museum has extended hours during the break. It's at 1610 South 21st Street in Parsons.
We've got ourselves a cold start to St. Patrick's Day, and we will stay cold through the morning. Could see some winds gusting 20-30 miles an hour. Will be partly cloudy up to about 34 by 11. Will remain partly cloudy as we head into the afternoon. Winds will eventually start to calm down as we head for highs right around 46 degrees. As we head into the evening, still partly cloudy, calm winds, maybe even some mostly clear skies later. 35 by 10, overnight low of 25. We're staying cold through the weekend. 38 tomorrow, 42 Sunday, 55 and cloudy for the first day of spring. And then spring does get here. Temperatures warming through the 50s, 60s, near 70 by Thursday with some thunderstorm chances. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. Will you be getting into the Irish spirit today? While there will be countless parades, parties, and events, some cities are hosting more than others. Alexis McAdams has the list, and it may surprise you.
If you're celebrating St. Patrick's Day this year, you're not alone. The National Retail Federation reporting 61% of consumers plan to observe the holiday. And revelers aren't just wearing green, they're dropping it as well. Data showing a whopping $6.9 billion will be spent, an all-time high according to the Trade Association, with most of that cash going toward food and beverages.
The U.S. has 6 times the amount of St. Patrick's Day events compared to the rest of the world.
The luck of the Irish is on the side of a few cities. Event management and ticketing site Eventbrite ranking the luckiest cities in America for St. Patrick's Day. Probably not a huge surprise, Chicago and Boston took the top 2 spots as the places holding the most events. But coming in third, Indianapolis.
Indianapolis seems to have a big population who is really looking forward to celebrating in lots of different ways. And we found different events from bar crawls to cruises to Irish crafting events and even food events as well.
Even if your city didn't top that list, Eventbrite says whether you spend the day watching a parade, drinking green beer, or listening to Irish music, there's no shortage of ways to embrace Irish culture.
There are thousands of ways to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, from Irish whiskey tasting to bar crawls. But if you're looking for a more subdued St. Patrick's Day, consider things like Irish dancing, Shamrock Cruise, or even an Irish food festival.
You're not alone. The National Retail
Well, St. Patrick's Day is becoming more of a family affair. 74% of households with kids get in on the Irish spirit, while only 54% without participate. Well, this morning, of course, we are discussing St. Patrick's Day.
It's probable that St. Patrick didn't envision a day named for him. It's even more likely he couldn't have imagined the revelry associated with what's become an annual celebration.
Well, it is a religious observation for many Christians around the world. St. Patrick's Day has turned into a cultural holiday for many others, marking a day to wear green to make yourself invisible to leprechauns, or at the very least avoid a good pinching, or simply being whatever your definition of Irish is.
And whatever your definition of St. Patrick's Day, we want you to have fun, enjoy the day, stay warm. And of course, from all of us here at KOAM Fox 14, we want to wish you a happy St. Patrick's Day. And that does bring us to our question for you this morning. How do you celebrate St. Patrick's Day? You got a few options. So far, 53% of you say you at least wear some green. 32% of you say you don't do any of these things or really celebrate at all. 5% of you say you do all of these things. 5% of you say that you drink something. And 5% of you say that you do something else. So make sure you take time to vote through our website, app, take part in discussion on our Facebook page.
Hey, we made some Irish milkshakes yesterday.
We
You
did
can check out
indeed.
that recipe on our website as well. All right, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, we like to close out the week with our good friend Shannon Becker and his big 3 stories of the week. Do you think you know what they are?
And of course, we are cold to start, and we are going to stay that way today. We'll take a look at that chilly forecast and when a warm-up gets here when we come back.
details.
Welcome back. It's time to close out the week with our own Shannon Becker joining us once again this Friday. Happy to have you. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, yourself as well.
So you don't like corned beef and cabbage?
No, I don't like cabbage. No.
Do you like corned beef?
I don't. Yeah, what is that? I don't know. It doesn't sound good to me.
Do you like salt? A flavor of salt?
Well, sure.
It's like it's heavily salted meat.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
in the curing process.
So like Vienna sausages in a can, right? I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Closer to that spam
flavor.
It
sounded like a lot of salt. Let's go to the big three this week. Number 3, Joplin News First, live and local. What's happening? It was at Schifferdecker Park. This is a stolen Mustang, police say, out of Oklahoma. It was going 100 miles an hour down Schifferdecker. The driver, he's taking a nap there. He's a little tired right there in the Missouri State Highway Patrol car.
He had some choice words with you.
Yeah,
afterwards.
he didn't like me taking his picture. But anyway, he racked up some felony charges, let alone he had multiple felony warrants waiting for him in other jurisdictions across the area.
And he wasn't alone in the car.
No, there was a female in the car as well, 18-year-old female from Enid, Oklahoma. She wasn't very happy and very cooperative. She picked up quite a few charges. You can read more about it in our updated article at KOAM News Now. Our number 2 story, Joplin News First, 34 years answering the phone as a Joplin emergency 911 communicator. Can you believe that? Congratulations, Greg Henry. They had a party for him this last week. That's Assistant Chief Brian Lewis presenting him with a plaque there. A bunch of different people were at the party. They say the job really only lasts about 2 years. It's really a hard job, an emotional job. Vanessa used to work here at KOAM in our control room. She works at Joplin Police now. So congratulations to Greg on his retirement. Well deserved. Yes.
Thank you, Greg.
And then our number 1 story, vehicle off into the drink. It's Turkey Creek on East 7th Street. It was over the weekend. Off-duty Webb City police officer driving down the road. Someone was waving people down, and it's like late at night. So what's going on? Well, they said a car went off into the water. This white passenger car gone off into the water, and the driver was laying across the top of it. It's pretty deep. I mean, it's almost completely underwater. Driver, Webb City firefighter, got him out of the water, checked out by medical. He's totally fine. Written up for a DWI. It seems like everybody had a little DWI issue this last week. Not injured, but that car pretty much totaled for sure. You can see that's what it looked like at night, and then that's what it looks like during the day. It was flowing pretty heavy that night, though.
Yeah, definitely.
And then our bonus story of the week. A new 911 center is a long time coming in Mount Vernon for the Lawrence County Emergency Communication Center. They broke ground actually this last August. Hopefully they'll be done by this next fall.
I was about to ask, when is the expected opening date?
Like 3rd quarter, almost 4th quarter. You can see it from the interstates behind Relics Antique Mall if you're in the Mount Vernon area. It's just south of the interstate.
And it won't just house the dispatch.
Yeah, it'll have the sheriff's office, it'll have the new jail, it'll have the health department. But
jail in there as well.
Yeah, but the communication center is going to go up first. They're going to get all the dispatchers there because they've been contracting out of Berry County, and that's pretty far away. So bringing it all back home, it's going to be a great thing. So congratulations to them. And we caught it yesterday, got some video for that update. It's going up quick. It's our big 3 and our bonus. Joplin News First, live and local this week.
Well, I advise you to go put some green on before you go out in public.
Yes.
Or you're going to be pinched, or the leprechauns will chase you around at least.
Well, I've got Vienna sausages. I hear it keeps them away. Gross. I've never eaten. Those are nasty. No.
Why did you bring those up?
Salty. I don't know. That's what you said.
All right. We will be right back.
Cold start for us across the area for our St. Patrick's Day Friday. MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline. The thing is, we do have a fair amount of sunshine out there. We got mostly clear skies across the region. 27, though, in Joplin. Feels like 17 with a north-northwest breeze at 12. And it is cold across the area. 25 Iola, 28 Parsons, 30 Chautauqua, Miami, and 28 in Neosho. You factor in the wind, feels like 15 in Iola, 12 in Stockton, 16 in Carthage, and 21 in Miami. And we are upwards of 30 degrees or slightly more colder than where we were 24 hours ago. As we get our day started, could see some wind gusts in that 20 to 30 mile an hour range this morning. Will otherwise be partly cloudy, up to about 34 by 11. And as we head into the afternoon, the winds will begin to calm down, making it up to a very chilly about 46 degrees, and we remain partly cloudy. That's kind of the theme for today. Partly cloudy this evening, maybe even some mostly clear skies here and there, down to 35 by 10, 25 for our overnight low. We get even colder tomorrow, though, 38 on Saturday, 42 on Sunday. First day of spring, we make it to 55 under cloudy skies, and then spring gets here next week. 59 Tuesday, 63 Wednesday, breezy, maybe some showers, thunderstorms possible Thursday, 68. A brief cool down to 60 for Friday as we have some showers out there. Then by next weekend, 67 Saturday and 63 by Sunday. So just a few more cold days and then we'll get into those mild temperatures. Let's check your forecast. Now here's Tanya Bach with Consumer Watch.
Wait 1 minute and 1 million bottles of water will have been sold. The industry is huge and global sales of bottled water are expected to double by the year 2030. Though water is generally seen as a healthy thing to drink, a new United Nations report indicates the bottled water industry has some major problems. In 2021, 350 billion liters of bottled water were sold. Most of that water comes from groundwater, which is also needed to irrigate crops and is being depleted in some parts of the world. All that water also came in about 600 billion plastic containers. That's about 25 million tons of plastic waste. Most of it ends up in landfills. The U.S., China, and Indonesia are the largest markets for bottled water. Microsoft is adding the artificial intelligence technology that powers ChatGPT to products many people use every day, including Outlook, PowerPoint, Excel, and Word. The company announced Thursday Microsoft 365 users will soon be able to use what it calls an AI co-pilot. It can help users create, edit, summarize, and compare documents. The updated software can also create charts in Excel and make changes to PowerPoint presentations. Microsoft also unveiled Business Chat, which is a tool that knows what's in a user's email, on their calendar, in their documents, and instant messages. Users can ask Business Chat to help with many things, like create a status report based on all communications about a specific project, and then email coworkers about it. Another streaming service is raising its rates. The price for YouTube TV is jumping from $65 a month to $73 a month. That's more than a 12% increase. YouTube TV says it's due to rising content cost. New members will see the higher price starting Thursday. Existing customers will pay the new rate beginning April 18th. YouTube TV recently dropped the MLB network, but still has more than 100 channels like ABC, Fox, and NBC. Meanwhile, YouTube is lowering the cost of its 4K Plus add-on from $20 a month to $10. We'll be right back with more after this, but first let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. Well, a 4-year-old in North Carolina is making millions of people do the one thing she can't do: smile.
See, Ruby tends to grimace when she shows off her pearly whites, even after coaching.
It's a phase most parents remember, and they just grin and bear it.
Jeannie Moose reports.
No doing scribble scrabble.
Meet 4-year-old Ruby, but don't ask her to smile.
Your smile is beautiful. Smile. Oh, so beautiful.
Ruby Spickler's sister and her sister's boyfriend tried to give Ruby a how to smile tutorial.
Now do it with your teeth. No. No. Don't scrunch your nose. Don't do that. Like this. Now unscrunch your nose and actually smile like upwards.
The video went viral, causing millions of people to smile, but not Ruby.
Like you're happy.
Ruby's sister says she first noticed what she calls the snarly smile when they took some family pictures.
She made this horrible, double chin, snarly, smiley face that just did not look like she was happy whatsoever.
It's something parents everywhere find adorable. Every kid goes through the Chandler Bing smile. Chandler Bing from Friends, trying to smile for engagement photos.
Now, Chandler, you want to give us a smile?
Okay.
Ruby's friends and family
No.
have tried having her say cheese. They've put her in front of a mirror. Only one thing has worked.
We tickle her sometimes to get a good smile out of her.
She may have a hard time smiling on command, but she has perfected the eye roll. And wait till you see her angry scowl.
Because you won't listen to my grandma.
Ruby can sometimes look like a grimace emoji come to life.
The reincarnation of Grumpy Cat, I saw her called.
Yep, that's pretty close. That hits the nail on the head.
Look at that piercing scowl.
Grumpy Cat became a meme. I had fun once. It was awful. At least no one ever has to tell Ruby, wipe that smile off your face.
Turn that frown upside down.
Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
You just got to keep working to smile. Sometimes that's hard to do, you know?
My 10-year-old has entered a phase where all of his pictures are very forced. Very forced. He used to have a great smile, and now he's very strained.
It happens sometimes, and unfortunately, you know what else happens? Cold spells, and that's what we're in right now. Quite cold across the area. MoDOT camera at 20th and Range Line shows the sun is shining. We do have plentiful sunshine. In fact, we're mostly clear out there. We just don't have the warm weather to go with it. 27 in Joplin, feeling like 17 with a northwest breeze at about 12. Across the area, it is again a cold one. 25 Iola, 30 in Miami, 28 in Neosho. Wind chills of 15 in Iola, 12 in Stockton. Feels like 17 in Neosho, and that puts us about 30 degrees or slightly more colder now than where we were 24 hours ago. As we go through the day, could see some occasional gusts in that 20-30 mile an hour range. Partly cloudy up to 34 by 11. And as we head into the afternoon, the winds will eventually begin to calm down. Still partly cloudy, and we're looking at highs right around 46 degrees. So not very warm at all today. We've got more of the KOAM morning news right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Carthage's City Council votes to call an election on the question of whether to impose an additional 3% sales tax on recreational marijuana. With the additional 3%, the city is expected to generate more than $50,000 within the first year for the city's general fund. The local dispensary supports the additional sales tax because the community will directly benefit from it. Authorities identify the body found last month in Galena, Kansas as 52-year-old Peter Whittington from Carthage, Missouri. KBI says Whittington last spoke to his family in late 2022. They say there are no signs of foul play, but they are waiting on the final autopsy report. His body was found February 27th in a field. And the city of Joplin is celebrating its 150th birthday next week and asked residents to join events they'll be hosting around the town. The events are free of charge, thanks to sponsors and fundraising. For those wanting to support the celebration, there is 150-year merchandise available. And residents in Parsons, Kansas will see updates on the area trails in the near future. Rotary Club in Parsons announced a $50,000 grant from T-Mobile to connect Rotary and Frisco trails. The money will also pay for additional safety features. Connected part will include emergency blue light stations that will be connected to the police department.
And it's a cold start for us across the area, and it's not going to be much warmer. Partly cloudy skies, breezy this morning. Winds calm down later, 46 for the high. So we head into this evening, still partly cloudy. Winds calm down, and then we drop to a very cold 25 degrees. As a matter of fact, we stay cold. We're 38 tomorrow, 42 on Sunday, 55 and cloudy for the first day of spring. And then we do start to see spring arrive as we get into the upper 50s, lower 60s, even upper 60s by next Thursday with a few thunderstorm chances.
All right, well, today, of course, is St. Patrick's Day. It's the day everyone gets to be Irish in spirit while celebrating the nation's culture, music, and Gaelic heritage.
The annual observance on March 17th recognizes Ireland's patron saint, a Christian missionary who converted the Irish people to Christianity.
Born in Britain in 385 AD, St. Patrick was brought to Ireland as a slave at the age of 16. 6 years later, he escaped to a French monastery, became a priest, and returned to Ireland.
Legend has it he drove the snakes out of Ireland, but of course that is merely legend. Biologists say Ireland never had any native snakes. The ubiquity of the color green on St. Patrick's Day is a nod to Ireland's nickname, the Emerald Isle.
And as for the three-leaf clover or shamrock, legend has it St. Patrick used it to explain the concept of Christianity's Holy Trinity.
Certainly a lot of interesting history for St. Patrick's Day. And of course, you've got your green sweater, and my youngest, Ryan, you guys have met him more than once on the morning show, bought me this and wanted me to wear it, so I figured I'd put it on again for a few more seconds.
That's a sharp looking tie.
If I should just wear it every day, I think.
Does it light up or anything?
No, it doesn't.
It's plenty bright enough.
It's just a nice little tie, though. So, well, we want to thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We will not be back with more news and weather at noon due to March Madness. Our next newscast today, 5 p.m.
That's right. Have a great morning and an even better day.